question, the member for York South-Weston.
Mr. Speaker, in my riding of York South-Weston, our community relies heavily on what is an underserved Toronto transit system. People rely on Jane Street, Western Road, and Eglinton Road, and Lawrence Avenue, rely on buses. I have long advocated for fuller transit service and funding that benefits the very real needs of our community. The Transportation Minister is proposing changes to transit funding. When one considers the TTC identified $185 million operating gap in 2010, my concern is how are proposed changes going to affect transit service and jobs?
Government House Leader.
Very much, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, I do sympathize with the member opposite. It has, of course, been it was a very difficult 15 years under the Liberals with the inability for them to start to build transit and transportation in the province. So I can appreciate how frustrated and how angry he must be, Speaker. In particular, given the fact that when his party held the balance of power, they didn't actually focus on transit and transportation in his riding. The good news is that listening to this member and to the people of Toronto and really the Greater Toronto area, we're making these investments in transit and transportation, one of the largest investment in subways in the history of the province. We're expanding two-way all-day GO train, not only to the members riding, but we're doing it out to London. And I know my community of Stouffville, which has never had that, is starting to get it. So we're making these very, very important investments, working with the City of Toronto because we know how important it is for economic growth in the financial capital of the country to have better access to transit transportation. And we're also building roads, bridges, highways across the province. So I do agree with him. I understand his frustrations, and we'll get the job done.
Thank you. The supplementary.
Well, the last 15 years was bad. The last 4 years was worse. And here, Speaker, I have written also another letter to the Minister. Back to my question to the Premier. Recent conversations I have had with the hard-working folks of the Amalgamated Transit Union Local 113 have raised some serious red flags about the proposed funding and how gasoline taxes are allocated and how integrated fares will be utilised. In your 2019 budget, $1.1 billion allocated for the TTC via gas tax was removed by this government. I believe it is fair to ask, where did that money go and why was it not used towards improving the operation and maintenance of our public transportation system?
Government House Leader again.
Yeah, Speaker, I'm a bit confused as to why the NDP would say that it's worse, given the fact that the Minister of Infrastructure is delivering a three-stop Scarborough subway. I think that would be better for the people of the community. I know the Minister of Infrastructure is delivering the Eglinton Crosstown, Speaker. I know that the Minister of Infrastructure and Minister of Transportation are delivering expanded GO train service. So the NDP have really caught me by surprise now that expanding services, making it better, improving it for the people of their communities in the province of Ontario is somehow making life worse. So I'm confused by that. Look, I was speaking just this morning to a new mother. Her name is Jessica. She's got a beautiful son, Benjamin, and she was telling me just how important these new investments in transit and transportation are to her and her family. Mr. Speaker, so we'll continue to do that. I'll have to have a discussion with the member opposite because I really do remain confused as to how improving services, expanding services, making life easier for the people of the province of Ontario, how that is defined as worse for the NDP.